Hi, Frank.
Hi, Tam.
Hey, nice to meet you. Tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, and where you're living at this point.
Well, my name is Frank Dutkiewcz, and I'm a Midwesterner born in Grand Rapids until I was a young boy, and then moved to Green Bay and grew up the rest of the way there, and then moved to Chicago. And always around the Great Lakes. And I've always had family.
Love the Great Lakes.
Yes,
They're
yes.
beautiful. Lake
They are.
Superior actually is like the ocean, isn't it?
It is huge.
I know.
But Lake Michigan's very large. too, and,
Fantastic.
yeah.
It's beautiful. So you lived in the Midwest,
Mhm.
and what was your livelihood?
After high school, basically I was a manual laborer. I went to college for 1 year, decided I'd get into the workforce, and started working in a warehouse and started driving truck because I've always loved driving. And I drove city bus up in Green Bay for a little bit, and I didn't like the cargo talking back to me, so I got out of that. And basically I came down to Chicago to go to college, Bible college, and that's where I met my lovely wife.
How wonderful.
And it's been 30 years.
Wow,
and,
congratulations.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
fabulous.
And so just been working, driving semi the last 20 years around the Midwest.
So where are you at today? Are you still driving truck?
No, I quit driving truck, retired at a couple of months ago.
A
And,
couple months
just
ago.
yes.
Isn't it fabulous?
It's nice. Every day's a Saturday,
I
except
love
Sunday,
it.
and that's church. And so, yeah.
Fabulous. So you, so you're at a place in your life where you're now retired, and so you're not making an income coming in every month like you were. So what does a man do at that place in his life as far as investments go?
Well, from the year 2000 to 2010, my 401k went nowhere, like millions of Americans, just flat. And the sad part is I put about $60,000 of my own money in that I could have buried in the backyard and had 60 grand more right
I
now.
know.
I don't think very much of money fund managers. I don't think much of them at all. They make 10% a year and they give them medals and put them on TV, and that's ridiculous.
Right.
So I decided I had to do something for myself, and I got some training in trading, and proceeded to take account from 20 down to $16,000, and it took about 7 months to get it back up to 20, and said that's not income trading. I can't live on that.
So how did you, so at that point in your life you realized you needed to be able to use the funds that you had, the ones that you hadn't lost already, and that money needed to work for you.
Oh, definitely.
And did you feel at that point that you had the knowledge to actually do that? Because a lot of people say, I want to do that, but it feels a little intimidating.
You've got to get the proper training. Like, to be good at anything, you've got to get the proper training. And my first training experience, they were good as far as the technique, but it was a teaching situation. The fellow I was training under was a teacher, where Ziegler is a coach and a motivator, works on the head as well as the technique. Makes a big difference. Makes a big difference.
And so you met a man named Jeff, and he had a training series called Maximum Control. And how did that change? How did that change your perspective on your confidence level?
So every training session was an aha moment. It was such great knowledge. Just like a light bulb going on over my head.
So Jeff was giving you some new principles that you could actually take into what you were already doing, or did he give you fresh new concepts?
Totally different direction, yes. I was trading options, doing covered calls, what they're called at the stock market. And basically Jeff's trading was directional trading, how to learn to be a good directional trader, a good stock trader. And with the formulas for money management, that was a big aha moment. Everybody says risk management, money management, but no one says how to do it.
Right.
And that's the reason I lost some of my trading account a year ago. Is I was in the market during earnings, and two of my positions went down about 2,000 each for 4,000. It took me 7 months to get that back by selling calls against the stock. Like I said, you can't make money that way. So with Jeff's training, directional trading, I've done very well, surprisingly well.
So how did you hear about Jeff's opportunity?
Well, my previous coach was talking about doing credit spreads, yet he didn't teach how to do credit spreads. So I went onto Google and I put credit spreads in there, and nothing much came up. But when I went to YouTube and put in credit spreads, Jeff's has about 7 or 8 videos on there, probably more. And I watched all of them, and I liked the guy. He seemed, seemed honest. I wasn't sure by that, but but I liked the way he taught, and I like, he just seemed straightforward and very simple to understand. So I signed up for a spread trading membership site that he has.
And that's such an issue, isn't it? The simple to understand. That for most of us that don't have years and years of experience in trading, it feels like speaking Greek. But Jeff had the ability to be able to communicate that to you in a way that made sense.
It's kind of like being in high school or college. You've got your lousy teachers and you've got your good teachers. And you can remember the good teachers for the rest of your life because they motivate you to learn. They put it in terms where you understand it and give the illustrations and give you the homework where you can get it yourself.
So as of right now, how long have you been in Jeff's program?
December 1st was, my first coaching was the end of November, November 29th. I put my first trade on December 1st, just about 9 weeks ago.
So what has been the results of that?
I've got to pinch myself to make sure I'm awake. I think I'm dreaming because right now my closed positions, I've got a 14.6% return on investment in
amazing.
9 months. It is amazing. And if you count another trade that's still open, it's a paper profit, but I've got puts as protection, put options, which Jeff told me about. My return on investment is like 22.5%. And we've got other positions that are open, but they're paper profits.
That's unbelievable.
It is.
It truly is.
It is.
How much information, how difficult is it to assimilate this? How many hours do you spend learning on what Jeff is teaching?
Well, being retired when I started the training, I've got plenty of time. So I spent a lot of time at first. I think I spent 7-8 hours a day going over the videos of the coaching sessions and then doing the homework, the back testing. And
so it was an investment of your time.
Oh, definitely.
That ultimately led to an investment that produced enormous amounts of income.
It's true.
In a very short period of time.
I know. Like I said, you take a mutual fund manager and he gets 22% in 2 months.
Yeah.
He's a national hero. He'll be on every financial TV program giving advice, and millions of people will be following him like crazy.
And you just bought him a sports car.
Yeah.
And you just bought him a sports car.
It's crazy.
When you think back on, for a person like you and I to hear that kind of information, I'll just speak for myself. For a person like me to hear that information, I think about what are the obstacles I have to overcome. I mean, for the average person, they have to overcome certain obstacles to be able to get where you're at today. How did Jeff's teaching help you to overcome those obstacles?
The major obstacle is you just got to get it through your mind that you cannot control the markets. You can't think you know what they're going to do. They do what they're going to do. My wife and I were blessed to go to Hawaii. We went to the North Shore of Oahu, and we saw those incredibly large waves. And then the little surfers that were out there trying to catch big waves. Now, those surfers, if they, can read those swells out there and catch the big waves, they'll have a fantastic ride all the way in. And they can't do nothing to change the waves, but they learn to ride the big ones.
Right.
It's kind of like the market. The markets, you can't change them. And you just got to try to catch the big waves. And if you get a little tiny dinky wave and everything, you just get out of that and try to catch a big wave.
Frank, we talked about your investment of time in researching everything that Jeff was teaching. And what were some of the other investments? It took time, but to manage your stocks, what did that actually look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
I'm still spending so much time actually learning and still back testing to get better at what I've already learned. The actual managing of the existing trades is such a small part, a half an hour, 45 minutes tops per day.
Wow.
So when I really get good at this and get fully vested, I can't imagine spending more than an hour a day. Just keep, so I can just take off, do what I want.
I love that.
Yeah. too.
Were there any obstacles that you had to overcome to invest in this training?
Well, yes, because the previous training I had spent more than double the amount for what I feel was not nearly as much.
Double time and finances?
Double finances, not the time. Like I said, the guy was a teacher, just laid out the facts, didn't give set homework to get good at what he was teaching, basically. Whereas Jeff gave a lot of homework, just like my grade school teachers did.
So we're talking about how there was an investment involved, a financial investment involved in the training, and an obstacle that you had to overcome. Was it the initial financial investment?
That's what it was, yeah, because like I said, it was, I would have paid, if I'd known what I know now, I'd pay 10 times the amount for the information I got. Because it's just life-changing, it's mind-boggling, aha moments. It's just worth so much more. I mean, every session was worth what I paid for the entire training. I really believe that. Every session I had was worth the whole amount.
So you would say you're very, very happy and pleased.
Oh, my soul, yes. I've learned so much. And I'm still learning. You know, I'm not a super pro investor by any means. I've made mistakes, and I'm going to continue to make mistakes. I'm human, of course, but I'm just can't believe how well I'm doing. I don't know, it probably has to do something with my semi-driving. You have to be so disciplined to haul 80 tons of hazardous materials down the highway, paying attention every second. That takes a little bit of physical discipline and character. You know, 1.5 million miles, no accidents.
Oh,
so
yes. Wow.
So
my
probably
teenagers can't say that.
Yeah, mine couldn't either when they learned to drive.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much great information in Maximum Control.
Mm-hmm.
Is it overwhelming? I mean, did you start small and just grow from that? Does Jeff help you to walk that process out?
There was a lot of information, but it was given step upon step building. He taught you one thing, which built on the next step, all the way through. So finally we got the directional option trading. And my first 2 directional option trades, I make like 34% in 5 days on one trade,
wow,
and 34% on one day on another trade. I should have stayed in another day. I probably would have made 50% on that second trade.
Yes.
But I'm just learning. So yeah, it's step upon step.
Is that what you liked best about it? Is that it is so step upon step, precept upon precept?
Oh, definitely, because you can't give things out of order and go hodgepodge into it. This was clearly thought out. You have to know this to do this. You have to know this to do this. You have to, it's just a natural progression, and it was great.
You know, people use that concept about a puzzle piece, and that sometimes when we're learning, we're missing that one puzzle piece that really finishes off what we really need to do. And do you see this as that puzzle piece for a lot of people? The information that Jeff brings, the maximum information that he brings, that it's like a little missing puzzle piece that you didn't have, that he really gives you the tools?
Definitely.
What are those tools? When you think about what was really easy to understand as a lay, I like to call us lay people. We're not stock traders. We don't have a background in investment in that, but what were some of the easy concepts for you to get your arms around and say, I think I can do this?
The biggest thing, and that'll keep me in the market, is basically account risk, trade risk, what you can risk on one trade. If you don't do that and cut your expenses short, you're out of the market. And that is the biggest, besides not knowing which way the market's going to go, that's the second biggest thing that I learned, is basically how much to risk per trade. And like I said, you've hear and read about it everywhere, about risk management, but you don't actually learn how. And it's such a simple process, but you don't know how. No one teaches it. It's not out there. I've looked, and I learned that in the first session, and that just, wow.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when you think about your future, obviously you're creating wealth and income to provide for your family and yourself in the future. Has this program given you a lot more confidence about what that future is going to look like?
Oh, yes. We're going to be moving to Florida. I'm not worried about my financial future anymore. I'm not worried about it. It's going to be there. I was always a little bit concerned about making money when the market's heading down, but Jeff loves that. He loves a down market because you can really make a bundle if you know what you're doing. I didn't know that before his training. So I know how to make it going up, sideways, going down, whoopee. So yeah, I'm not concerned about my financial future at all. Not a bit.
You know, you're married to a wonderful woman for 30
yes.
years.
Mm-hmm.
And financial issues for women are huge. I
Yes,
mean,
they
they're a
are.
huge issue. The security of their home, the security of their life, retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So how has your wife dealt with all this? Did she come in and say, yes, I'm confident with this? Or did she come in and say, do you really know what you're doing, honey?
My wife's got a lot of confidence in me. No matter what I've done, she's stood behind me. A wonderful woman. But she's a little bit concerned during the training. She said, are you doing this right? Or look at this. Shouldn't you be getting out? You're making all this money. Shouldn't you? And I said, no, honey, it's not the rules. Oh, okay, well, I don't want you to lose all that money. You should get out now. No, let it run. And you got to go. And it's funny. We've had so many fun conversations going through the training as she's over my shoulder watching while I'm actually trading and doing the homework, back testing and everything. But she's been behind me all the way.
Mm-hmm. And that's an important thing, I think, for a lot of men and women, because women are fantastic investors as well, that we know what we're doing, that the maximum control gives you the concepts to follow. And as you said, as you follow them, you actually see the reward and the confidence builds. Has your confidence built going through this program?
Oh, yes, yes. The first couple trades I put on 9 weeks ago, I was just, just experimenting, and maybe I shouldn't have. Because actually the real confidence came after I back tested a series of 20 stocks and going back on 10-year charts and then just clicking day at a time. Jeff teaches you that. And then following the rules, the trade risk and everything. Only one stock was I not profitable on out of the 20, and most of them I was up profitable thousands over the losses, over the expenses. So that gave me more confidence than anything else. The homework, doing the back testing. So someone really has to put the time into this to get the confidence to start putting on them trades and just doing it.
Maximum control really does give you maximum control
Yes.
over your finances, which ultimately is your future.
Exactly.
And if you think about a friend, someone that you know that has no background in this, they have given all of their portfolio over to someone else to manage, and they come to you and they say, why should I do this? I don't have any background, I don't have any knowledge. Why should I choose this program?
I would just ask them, what are the results from giving your money to someone else, money managers, and just look what I've done. I'll look at my trading statements. I'll let you see my accounts, positions I've had open, what I've got closed, what I've done. Take your pick. I mean, it's black and white, night and day.
So Frank, you're just talking to me about the vision that you have for maximum control and how it can change people's lives. Do you really believe that?
Oh, with all my heart. People that would get this product, get into it, get this training, if they put in the time, put in the homework and do the back testing, they will change their lives. Yes, definitely.
So it's thorough. It's you can easily understand what he's teaching, and it also gives you the confidence then to move forward and make the right decisions.
Yes, definitely.
Ultimately, where you get the results like you just got, which would tell us about the results that you've just experienced.
Well, in the last 9 weeks, and basically my closed positions, actually profits locked in, are up. My return on investment is up 14.6%. And then I've got several positions open right now, but one of them I've got option protection to the downside, which I learned from Jeff. So those profits are basically locked in, and who knows how high it's going to go. My return on investment would be 22% in 9 weeks. I guess I got to pinch myself to make sure I'm awake.
I know, it's fabulous.
It is.
And we're talking about investments and how important investments are, but really, to be a good investor, you really have to invest in the information, the knowledge, the training to get where you're at today.
Yes. To be good at anything, you have to put in the time, no matter what. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort.
Maximum control, when you think of those words, maximum control, and you think of the program that you just went through, do you think that those two words actually describe the program that Jeff brought you through?
You know, I've never thought of it that way, but yes, it does, because you're controlling your financial future. You're controlling, for each and every trade, you know when to get in, when to get out. So yeah, that is maximum control, yeah. That is a good name.
Elaine, you have this remarkably smart husband.
Yeah.
I know. And one day he came to you and he said, you know, we lost all of this money that we would have made more if we would have put it in our backyard. So I'm going to take these classes and I'm going to invest all of our retirement and you just need to trust me with this. How did you feel?
It was frightening at first, you know. I thought, ooh.
Yes.
Do you know what you're doing?
And she loves you, but that wasn't the question, right? So it felt a little unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you come alongside your husband to support him in what he's doing now?
Well, I know he's capable of doing anything if he just puts his mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we had prayed about this a lot, realizing we needed something, you know, it's time for retirement, you gotta go somewhere. So we just, as he looked into it and found Jeff Ziegler online and everything, it just seemed like the answer to our future.
And
So-
what did you see in your husband? As he started to get into the program, what did you see starting to happen in your husband?
I was really impressed with his confidence as he got into it.
How did you feel as that was evolving? What were you seeing happen?
I just felt like he had the potential to do it, and he was following what he was learning, and then we were seeing results from it, and I thought, well, this is going to work. This is actually what we need, and this is going to work.
And so, is it working?
Yes, it does seem to be working for us. So,
That's the good news,
yes,
isn't it?
We're very thankful.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
very
this is
thankful.
working, and so you were able to work this out together as a couple. Frank made the decision to enter into maximum control in this whole program, and you did that as a team, supported each other as a team.
Yes.
And how was her support important to you?
I think to be really successful in anything, you've got to have a woman behind you that supports you, a good woman behind you. I think most famous men in history have got good women that are supporting them, kicking them in the hind end or something to get them motivated.
Maybe both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So,
Maybe both.
so yeah, it's important. I don't know, we're one. We're always, you know, all these 30 years, and we're best friends. And
So the support you brought to each other helped you to continue to gain information and grow, and you saw that this is actually helping create a retirement for you as a couple that was real.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what would you say about this program? If you have another woman whose husband says, I really want to try this, and she's like, but you know, we've always done it this way. And her husband says, but I believe there's a better way through Jeff's program. What would you say to that woman? How would you encourage her?
Well, I would say that it really works. I've seen the results. I know it works. If you have a husband that will put the time in and learn and follow the program definitely works. So, and it's a wonderful feeling of security, knowing
Yes.
that you are going to make it. You are
Yes.
going to make it in the future.
Is there anything else you would say to a couple that has money that they've given to somebody else at 22% to manage or whatever the amount is? Is there something that you would say to that couple to give them hope and encouragement to actually try this program?
I just speak from my heart, from what it's done for me. there's a man in church that has $250,000 saved. He says, I can't retire, I need $1 million. And I said, my soul, I could, I've tried to get him interested in the program, and I'm gonna work on him because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He could make so much by just joining this program and just putting in some time. He'd be set for life. So it's just trying to just say, look what I've done, and if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just a dumb old truck driver. If I can do it, you can do it.